Greetings everyone, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, here to bring you another retro review from past seasons of the Loud House. In today's video, we take a look at the season 4 episode that I can say had a story featuring Lola at her greatest, and I'm just talking about an episode where her twin Lana has no starring role whatsoever. Today's episode is titled Community Disservice. First we'll discuss the plot, and then my thoughts and critiques with my final score. So, let's get right into it. In this episode, Lola needs to partake in a community service project to qualify for the Little Miss Sunshine pageant. She becomes a student buddy to a shy new girl named Mellie Ramos, and she tries to help her stand out by doing the kinds of things that make Lola popular with everyone. However, she ditches Mellie on the day of a school field trip to Dairyland in order to appear in the Sunshine pageant. But when she begins to worry that the new girl is having a horrible time without her, and with Lana confirming those fears, she drops out of the pageant and heads to the amusement park to make amends by spending the rest of the field trip with Mellie, even being crowned as her new friend. Well, that concludes the plot of the episode, so now we come to my thoughts and critiques. I've mentioned this episode so many times in previous reviews, so you knew I was going to talk about this one eventually. As far as things go, this episode checks pretty much every box of Lola's character, or at least the most notable ones. Her pageant performing, her vanity, her popularity and influence among her classmates, her confidence with people she doesn't know, her desire to transform others into more fabulous versions of themselves, and making sure to do whatever she can to make sure she gets what she wants, and not feeling guilty about her actions until it hits her like a ton of bricks. This episode reminded me so much of the episode Friend or Foe, where Lisa only wanted to use a new friend to get what she wanted, and then dump them once she got what she wanted, even after the friend really wanted to keep being friends. I think it's safe to assume Lola didn't regard Mellie as a potential new friend, but more like some random kid she could mold into someone more confident, and then leave them once they were brave enough to be out there on their own. That was one of the two things that led to Lola's downfall. She gave Mellie the kind of advice that only really works for an outgoing girl like her, not someone withdrawn and timid, and she didn't play to the kind of things that make Mellie more comfortable. Lola rejected Mellie's idea of simply trying to blend in with kids who had an interest in ponies and reading canine detective books. Lola didn't care for any of those things and just decided what she does to become more socially accepted was good enough for anyone. However, the moment she found out Mellie wasn't shown in the field trip picture and began hallucinating of that girl completely falling apart without her, and with Lana saying she was hiding in the bathroom the whole time they've been there, Lola did something no one would have expected. She openly declared she was dropping out of the pageant. Even though she was practically on the verge of winning, she felt like she had to be disqualified for not truly living up to the pageant's application requirements. She was supposed to perform a service to help someone who needed it, but she committed a disservice to the pageant, herself, and more importantly, Mellie. The guilt she was feeling was enough to have her quit halfway through a guaranteed victory, and that was a bold move. You have to admit that for someone like Lola, who loves competing in pageants and more specifically winning them, making the decision to willingly take a loss just to set things right was downright commendable. Despite everything that happened and the conditions for why everything happened, Mellie still found it in her heart to forgive Lola. And now we come to this new girl. What can I say? Mellie was just the kind of character this episode needed. She's adorable, innocent, and oh, you just want to give her a hug every time you see her. She reminded me a little bit of myself, someone who really wasn't too social as a kid, but always wanting to simply blend in with others, not so much stand out. That's all Mellie wanted since she was the new girl at school and thought Lola being the popular and confident one of her class would help her come out of her shell. Now, I can't say the secrets and tips she was given didn't work to a degree, since Mellie did start to become less tense throughout the day, and she did end up becoming less shy around other kids by the end, but that was because she had Lola by her side every time as a token of reassurance. I don't mean to make it sound like Mellie had a codependency issue or anything, but if you're the new kid at school and you barely have any friends, you'd be feeling very lost and alone when someone you just started getting to know isn't there to help guide you through that difficult period of getting adjusted to a new environment. That's the other thing that led to Lola's downfall. When Mellie found out Lola wasn't going to be with her on the field trip, she started losing her confidence, a feeling of support, and who was effectively her only friend, and I can understand why she felt so upset. She had a hard enough time just trying to befriend anyone at her new school, let alone a mini celebrity like Lola, and to have her first new friend completely abandon her when she was just starting to become a little less introverted around strangers didn't help in the way Lola thought her training would ultimately accomplish. Assuming some, if not all, of Lola's hallucinations were real, Mellie hiding and crying in the bathroom was the safest and most comforting thing she could do, despite how heartbreaking it was. Still, Mellie was quick quick to forgive Lola for what she did, and even decided to give Lola a cheese crown, and truly believed Lola deserved it. It wasn't the crown she was aiming to win that Saturday, but that symbol of their newfound friendship was just as good. So good that even Lana had to get a taste of it, eating random cheese from someone's head. Only Lana. Overall, this episode had everything it needed for the development and presentation of Lola's character. She learned that even though competing in pageants is her thing, and the methods she uses to befriend others and stand out from the crowd work for her, those methods don't work for everyone, and for her to drop out of a pageant after qualifying to be in it shed some light on her path to redemption with Mellie. As for the new girl, she was the polar opposite of Lola, and her character developed from being tightly closed to more social thanks to someone with more self-confidence helping her to open up around others. The one thing that keeps this episode from being perfect was the timing in finding out Lola's pageant application was denied. 10 hours of community service before Saturday, and it's implied Lola's volunteer time took place on the Friday before. I don't know how long ago her application was sent in, but for it to be denied at the last second with very little time left to complete it just came off as a bit too convenient. Even so, the rejection of her application set Lola on the road to learning more about others, and more importantly, about herself. With that said, I give Community Disservice a 9.9 out of 10. Well folks, that concludes my review of Community Disservice. Even though we don't see Mellie as often following this episode, it's always great to see her in the background with the other kids. Her quest to blend in definitely paid off, and she owes a lot of it to the what would have been Little Miss Sunshine known as LOLA'S. So what did you guys think of it? Love it? Hate it? Something you would add? Change? Keep it as it is? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to this channel for the latest Loud House content. That's going to do it for me. I'll catch you guys for the next video, but until then, this is SteamTeamRedubUK, CC Trainor-Ling, signing off. Peace out, home slices.